Today we are coming into some lovely exercises to support sensitive weak backs. So we're going to come onto our mat. We're going to lie down with the feet and knees hip distance apart. So if you want to find that, best way you can do this is to bring your arms down by your side, your feet together, take your toes out and bring your heels behind. And that way you should be about set up. So we're just going to have the arms down by your side, shoulders down and away from the ears with your chin tucked in. We're going to think first of all about our lying set-up position. So we're going to think about the chin, and we'd like that chin tucked in. So imagine you have a little satsuma underneath your chin. The shoulders are back and down as best you can. And then we're going to think about the abdominal muscles, okay, that support the lower back. So we're going to pull into that belly button, into the spine, as much as you possibly can, 100%. So imagine you have a belt wrapped around your waist and you're pulling that belt up onto its tightest hole, the 10th hole. So we'll do that now, and then you're going to release down to the 5th hole, 50%, okay? And then we're going to release down to the imaginary 3rd hole, which will be about 30%, which is just about where we want them. So we don't want to be pulling in too much. Then we're going to think about the pelvic floor muscles that stop us from going to the toilet, the front and the back passage. And we're going to lift up with those, taking them all the way up to the top floor in the lift. And then we're going to release down to the 5th floor, 50%. So this is the front and back passage, by the way. And then we're going to release down to the 3rd floor, and we're going to leave it there, okay? So first of all, we're going to find neutral position for our spine, and that's important because that keeps the spine 20% stronger, okay? And helps to protect the back whilst we work. So keeping the abdominals and the pelvic floor engaged, we're just going to gently arch the back and bring it back to neutral. Arch again and bring it back to center. Arching, gently bring it back. Arch, bring it back. Arch, bring it back. One more. And then this time we're going to squash, we're going to roll the pelvis towards you. So you're going to tilt that pelvis towards you. So you feel a slight, ever such a slight squashing with the lower back. And then back to where it was. And then just keep repeating that. So you feel a little bit more pressure on the back in the mat. Like you're really squashing it in there. We'll do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. So we're going to start with some shoulder bridges, okay? So abdominals are pelvic floor engaged, shoulders down and away, chin tucked in. Going to inhale to prepare, tilt the pelvis towards you like we just did, okay? And then we're going to roll up and we're going to push into the heels, glutes are switching on, roll up. If it's comfortable, bring your arms back. Or maybe one arm, that's totally fine, and roll back down. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, peel up, push your heels into the floor and try to keep that pelvic tilt as you roll up. Because we don't want to arch the back, so there's no point coming up super high like that if that makes you arch your back. So don't worry about coming up too high. So you want to feel it, bottom, legs, and then as you roll back down, just a nice sensation in that spine. We don't want to be rolling forwards. So you want to keep that neutral position where your back isn't arched and it's not squashed, somewhere in the middle, okay? And then again, abdominals, pelvic tilt, pelvic floor, and pushing into the floor with those heels and those toes and those arches. Keep pushing up just a little way and keep that pelvic tilt. Arms can stay down if they need to. So if you lift and it feels a bit sharp, keep them down. Maybe one arm. That's also optional, or both. And then arms down, and if you're doing one arm at a time, Then just make sure you alternate the arms, okay? So again, tilt the pelvis, you're pushing into the feet. So what we're doing here is we're mobilizing the spine, so we're getting that vertebrae just to move, okay? And kind of separate, if you like, because when we have back issues, things can get a bit stuck. And also we are building strength in the legs and the glutes, which is important because we need those to help support the back. So again, push up. This time, once we get to the top, if comfortable, we'll just pause there for 1, 2, bring your arms behind you, arms down, and roll back down. We'll do that again, nice neutral spine, tilt the pelvis, chin tucked in, shoulders back, heel up, pushing into the floor, up, 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 up. To your own degree, arms back, no need to go too high. Arms down. Again, tilt, pushing up, we're holding this time. 1, 2, could bring your arms back at the same time, and make sure your knees aren't flaring, that they're going forwards, arms down. So we don't want the knees flaring out. We want the knees to be tracking forwards over the toes, okay? So one more of those, arms down if you need to. You could keep your arms down and hold for 1, 2, or maybe you bring your arms back, but make sure your back is strong, that you're feeling it in the glutes, there's no sharpness. And then arms down, roll back down. So just give those legs a little stretch. And then bring them back again in towards your bottom. Feet together, toes apart, heels behind. This time we're going to come into some shoulder bridges with some marching. If it feels a bit much for you, just stick with the normal shoulder bridges or leave this one out entirely. So inhale, tilt the pelvis, core engage, glutes in, pushing up just a little way. Now you're going to push all your weight, keep your arms down into that left heel, okay? Focus on the sensation. So before you even lift that right leg off, which is what we're going to do, I want you to focus on that left butt cheek and pushing that left heel into the mat. So before you've even taken that right leg off, you're feeling that strong sensation in the left leg and left glute. And then push down with the arms for support, and you're going to lift that right leg off, straighten out the leg, bring it back and lower back down, pushing into the right leg. Keep that pelvic tilt, feel the tension, glute, leg in tabletop, shin parallel to the ceiling, straighten, bend, lower back down, roll your spine back down. We're going to do 4 more each side. So inhale, tilt the pelvis, arms can stay down, heel up. Now we want to try and keep the pelvis steady, so we don't want to tilt side to side. So if you need to, you could place your hands on your hips, okay? But keep your elbows down for support. So focus on that right buttock cheek this time and the right heel. Lift the leg. Straighten, bring it back, lower. Make sure your bottom doesn't sink. Push into the left heel, bring the right leg up, straighten, bring it back, lower, roll back down, bone by bone by bone. Back to neutral. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, abdominals, pelvic floor engage, glutes in, pushing up through the heels, keep your posterior pelvic tilt, shoulders are down, chin tucked in. We're going to push down on the left side, feel it in the glutes and the legs, bring the right leg off, straighten it out, bring it back, lower back down, keep that pelvis nice and steady, check in with the hips, you can have the hands on the hips if you need to. Right leg stays down, left leg in tabletop position and straighten, bring it back. Inhale, exhale, roll your spine back down. We'll do 1 more. Inhale, tilt the pelvis. Peel your spine, push your heels into the floor, push up, push up, push up to your own degree. Bringing that left leg off, straighten, bring it back. Lower, right leg off, straighten, bring it back, lower, and roll your spine back down, all the way down. Wonderful. Just bring those knees into the chest now, give them a little hug. We're going to roll over onto our left side and we're going to come into some side lying glute exercises. So we'll just roll onto the left side. I have a band here, but you can totally do it without, okay? But if you want to, you can get hip bands, which are great for sliding over the thighs, and that just progresses and makes it harder work. But I'm just going to leave that there, but just wanted to mention that. So either you could bring your hand down underneath the arm down underneath the head, with the head resting on your arm, and the right hand in front of your chest with the fingers pointing upwards. Your knees are going to be bent and your heels want to be sort of underneath your bum. So we don't want them to be here, okay? So heels underneath the bottom. Alternatively, if it feels more comfortable, you can have your hand resting on your head, but we want that elbow to be in a straight line to the armpits. We don't want the hand or elbow over here because that just changes your whole alignment, okay? So I'm going to have my hand on my head so you can see my face a little bit better. So what we're going to do, we're going to just keep the bottom tucked under, so we try not to arch and push the hips back, okay? And then we're going to place that hand there and we're going to keep our feet together, okay? So we're going to push down with we're going to push our feet into the mat. And you're going to lift, keep your feet together, you're going to lift that right knee and roll that knee up. We don't want to roll our body back with us though, we don't want to tilt our body like that. So this part of the body doesn't want to move, we just want that part, okay? So we're going to do a set of 15 of these if we can. So pushing up, 1, and once you feel it, bring it slowly back down. 2, 3, nice and slow and controlled. 4, feel it in your bum. Sometimes it can be handy to place your finger on your bum to feel it, or your hand kind of on your hip a little bit, or your waist and your hip to stop that moving. 6, just to kind of feel it there, you might want to place your hand on your glute, because sometimes where we take our mind, 8, that can really help us tune into activating those muscles. 9, otherwise hand in front if you're feeling it okay. 10, and keeping those shoulders down and away. 11, so the bum should be aching a bit now. 12, 13, 14, and 15, and down. And we're going to do that on the other side. So we'll come over onto our right side. Again, either arm outstretched underneath the head, left hand in front of the chest, feet underneath the bottom, or place your hand on the side of the head, left hand down in front of the chest. So like the hips can be quite different on either side, so you might find lying on one side a little bit more uncomfortable than the other. So if you need to, bring the arm down, okay? So again, same thing, pushing up. And also note that one side, like one glute, can be weaker than the other. So you might find one side quite easy and the other side really difficult. And that would be because of your hips and your glutes. That's okay. We're doing exactly the same on both sides. If you feel like whoosh on this side, you can bring that leg right up with no problem. Just try to remember what it felt like on the other side and try not to lift the leg too high, because we want to try and keep it even Stevens if we can. 7, breathe. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And done. So we've had a little reprieve from being on your back, so we've done a bit of side lying glute work. So we're going to come now over onto our backs once again, and we're going to come into toe taps. So we'll just refine neutral spine. So we'll lie on our backs with our knees bent, feet together, arms down by the side, toes apart, heels directly behind. Keep your chin tucked in, the abdominals, pelvic floor engaged, and want to find neutral spine. So we're just going to do some gentle pelvic tilts forwards and backwards, so forwards and back. So imagine you have a bowl of water on your pelvis, and every time you tilt your pelvis forwards, the water sloshes out in between the legs. Every time your pelvis tilts back, it's sloshing over your abdomen. So we don't want any of those things to happen. We want to keep the bowl of water nice and steady, okay? So we're going to find that position where the back doesn't arch and it's not tilted. So if you imagine you had a little ladybird that just crept under your lower back, you didn't want to squash it. That's what you want, just a touching of the lower back on the mat. So abdominals are in at 30%, pelvic floor up, chin tucked in. We're going to bring the right leg into a tabletop position. So that's the shin parallel to the ceiling and the knees directly over the hip. Then we're going to inhale, exhale, bring the left leg into tabletop. Shins are parallel to the ceiling. If that feels a bit much, bring one leg down and feel free to do one leg and then bring that foot down and do the other leg. Totally fine. Otherwise, arms are down by your side. We're going to try really hard not to arch the back. So abdominals are in, pelvic floor engaged. We don't want to articulate at the knee, so that leg doesn't want to drop, okay? Inhale, exhale, tap the toe and gently bring it up. Other leg. So as you can see, my legs aren't like my shin isn't dropping. I'm not dropping it down like that. I'm keeping it the same. I'm just literally moving the leg. And if that is challenging enough and your back is remaining in neutral, what you can do now is one leg taps. As that one comes up, then the other one comes. As that one taps, the other one comes up. We'll do one more each leg. Exhale, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up. And just bring those knees into the chest, give them a hug. Oh, gentle little stretch either side. Good. And I hope you enjoyed that short lower back supporting regime I've given you there. If you'd like something a little bit more of that, and you'd like to come to a class that's progressive and that shows different options and versions of the exercises and modifications, then I teach in Ripon on Mondays at Upstage Academy at 7 o'clock, and I also teach in Hampswaite at 7 p.m. at the Memorial Hall there, and I teach in Glass Houses on Thursday evenings at Broadbelt Hall. All those are sort of in and around Nidderdale, North Yorkshire. So if you're close to those areas and you're looking for a supportive class that's progressive and that works with you in a way that suits your body and it's just not a wham bam, thank you ma'am, then those are my classes and where I teach. And you can contact me on 07712 453348, or you can email me joanna@nidderdalefitness.com, or check out my website www.nidderdalefitness.com. That's all from me. Take care. See you soon.